Hello and welcome to episode 7 of my Vault Hunters single player Let's Play. I'm over here with John, Jeffrey, and George. They just wanted to say hey real quick because it's been a minute since I think everybody has seen them, but here they are, just in their little hidey holes, being comfortable. Their living conditions are perfectly fine. No need to ask questions. I've got a couple things that I want to do today in this episode, one of them being pouch crafting, to set them up for filtered pickup, tool crafting, and possibly a skill undoing. Yep, that's right. I done messed up. Maybe a little bit. Not that bad. But we're going to be doing that today. So if you guys happen to have any questions in regards to any of those things, this is the episode for you. And hopefully I can do it justice. Hopefully. So in between episodes, I actually prepped for crafting a new pouch and maybe even pickup upgrade. So I say maybe even, we're definitely making one. And I'm going to show you the functionality of that after I craft these two. So on the one on the left, we have all the resources needed to craft a pouch. In doing so, we need 8 Larimar, just so we can make 2 perfect Larimar. Put a silk block in the middle, 2 vault diamonds above and below, and then the rest filled out with the shulker shells. In doing so, we get a cute little pouch right here. And voila, we have a brand new pouch. Look, look at it. Look at the way I hold it. Oh, it's like right there. You see it? Oh, and I have the one I have on right now. So I'm going to have two pouches. Yeah, that's right. And now here are the items needed to craft the pickup upgrade. And we'll just go in order of what we need. So let's make the piston. And we'll make that a sticky piston. And then let's make the base upgrade, which also needs 2 perfect Larimar, 4 chromatic iron, 1 magic silk block, and 2 vault essence. We get the base for the upgrade. Place that there. The next up is actual pickup upgrade. We'll just make this redstone block. Place it there. Magic silk there. Chromatic steel ingots there. Vault diamonds there. Sticky piston there. Upgrade there. And I realized I put the vault diamonds in the wrong spot, and there we go. The pickup upgrade. And if I open up my pouch and just shift left click, there it goes automatically. And there's actually a switch on the left side. This will help you turn it off and on if you don't want things going into the bag. On the other bag that I automatically have, I also have that set up. I have it turned off right now just so I don't have random items that I'm dropping go in there. And with that, you could also have pickup settings. So if I look at my original, I have all these blacklisted so it doesn't pick these up just in case I happen to drop them. I also did the soul shards in this. I don't know if I've explained this in previous episodes. If I don't have this in the blacklist, it'll actually not be picked up by this shard pouch. It'll prioritize picking it up in the pouch. A little annoying. And in regards to the shulker boxes, I'm getting pretty tired of using these in the vaults, constantly having to place them down, open them, and see what's in there, or just stuffing them full with vault loot. It gets pretty frustrating. Over time, this just ends up causing you to waste a lot of time in the vaults, and we ain't got time for that. And when it comes to these pouches, we won't actually need to open chests in the vault anymore to loot everything. We'll actually be breaking them. Pair them up with Vein Miner, and oh my gosh, you are golden. Trust me, it is such a lifesaver. And now that we got these 2 pouches here, we can actually set them up to be filtered pickups because they both have pickup upgrades. And while this is fine and dandy, it's awesome, we're not going to be using this as the filtered pickup. We'll be using slot memory settings. This is going to be the king of all inventory systems that'll help you tremendously when it comes to what you pick up, how you pick them up, and which bag is picking them up, at least when it comes to different types of loot. And if I'm being honest, one of them isn't really going to have a filter. Let's probably say the right one. And then the left one is going to have all the important stuff. And this one right here is actually going to be the one that is going to be on my back while I'm running around. While this one on the right is actually going to be on my 9th slot of my hotbar, picking up all the random junk that gets thrown out of the chests when I break them and such, and hopefully catches everything that I don't really want. And if it gets filled up, which is definitely going to happen because I only have 2 pouches, we'll use the shulker boxes last resort. Since I do have a second pouch, I'm now getting rid of the shulker box just because, of course, they're the same size and I don't want to overfill my inventory with extra stuff. I'll eventually probably fill up all 4 of these with extra pouches just so that I can get rid of those shulker boxes. Because as cool as shulker boxes are in vanilla Minecraft, in Vault Hunters, they become a nuisance. And so I'm going to show you guys an easy way and then a semi-difficult way to set up the filters for these. So right now, let's do the easy way of the items that I already have. Let's just pick out the important things that I want to make sure I pick up. Alrighty, and I have gone through everything that I think I would probably pick up that I think is worth picking up for sure. Everything else is like a minor thing that I could or don't really need to pick up. Everything else is just an added on top of this, right? So this is the main stuff I want to focus on. And that being the case, now here is the direction on actually how to save this preset of these specific items. You can essentially go to this backpack settings, click that, go to the slot memory settings, which is the brain icon, and you have all the items in there. You could just select all slots and it'll just gray them out essentially. That just tells you that each of those slots is taken up by those specific items and will hold those even though there isn't an item in there. And if I go back and I take out every item, you can see there is still those ghost slot items. And so now, as you can see, there is ghost items after I've clicked that select all slots. And now there's absolutely no items. I'm shift clicking and no items will come out because there's nothing there. But it saves those items that we had in there previously as ghost items, so that even, let's say, without this pickup filter, the only things that it will allow this backpack to pick up, because all slots are filled, is these specific items. So now I don't have to worry about putting or not having enough space here for, let's say, allow these specific items in there. Now I can switch this to, instead of block these certain items, to match the items that are in here. So just grays out everything so that you don't have to worry about it. So now it is specifically this. And let's say by some sad scenario, you lose your pouch or you die in the vault and you can't get it back. Let's say you don't have this anymore. And let's say you're missing some of these items for some reason and you're like, oh, I can't make this again. Well, ahead of time, you could actually save this in a specific setting. So if you go back to that slot memory settings, you can actually see there's these hard drives with arrows on them and they're actually save slots. So you can save these presets onto a slot. And if you use your scroll wheel on your mouse, you can actually change what number slot you're looking at. So let's say ahead of time, I'm going to save this to slot 1 just so, and you can see actually in the chat, it even says settings or saved settings to slot 1. And so now if I lose the backpack, have to craft another one, I could just load the same exact settings from this backpack, essentially from my saved slot 1 back onto the new backpack, which makes it super easy. So I can show you an example. This is an empty pouch, and let's say I'm going to just preemptively put match backpack contents, go back over here, backpack settings, slot memory settings, and then load settings from slot 1. And you can see it actually even previews what that setting for that slot is already on the backpack, even with me not clicking on it. And if I click it, it'll load it back, or it'll load it into this backpack. But since I don't want to do that, I actually want this as a separate backpack just to pick up random items. I could just leave it as is and turn this on. But I actually am going to switch these upgrades because this one actually has all the stuff I don't want to be picked up. And I want to make sure that if I drop these items, it doesn't pick these up, since this one won't really be affected by that anymore, or that specific setting anymore. So now that this is set up, I can shift right click, pick that up, put that on. And now let's just turn on my magnet. Let's just throw out all this random stuff and let's see what goes where. So you can see the items that are just randomized. If I open my backpack, you can see it only allowed those specific items in there. Now, pairing that up with in the vault, now you can see that it can get pretty interesting and pretty cool in there. I'm not gonna lie, it is gonna be so beneficial that we have this. Keep mixing up all my items. And if I had this one on me, all those random items that went into my regular inventory would have just gone into this backpack, just because it doesn't have anything else. There's actually another way you can preemptively set up your backpacks to have those same type of slots if you would like. And the way to do that is essentially, I'm going to just do it with a random item because it doesn't really matter. But so let's say I only want stone, for example, just to be the only thing that gets picked up by the backpack. I would just make sure I have this memory slot open because it won't work. Otherwise, you can see I'm doing what I'm trying to do and it won't work. Nothing happens. But if I open this up and I hold spacebar and then left click and drag, you can see a blue line that appears, or purple or violet line, and then just drag it over. Doesn't matter which slot. And then you'll see the ghost item there. So you don't even actually need the item. All you need is JEI, and you could just hold spacebar, and left click and drag. And now you have random items in here, and you could do the same thing as the last one and just save items to a different slot. And since I do have one already saved to one, I could either overwrite it, or I can use my scroll wheel to go to save setting to slot 2. Then I could just save it if I'd like to, but I don't want to do either of those things. So I'm just going to right click, get rid of these. And now it's back to where it was before. So that's another easy way to do it. Of course, all you got to do, search up for the items you want in JEI, and then make sure you're over here in this setting specifically for memory. Hold spacebar, left click and drag into the spot you want it to be. And there you go. And voila. That is a very quick way to do it as well if you don't want to go digging around for all the items. But I like to do this way half the time just so I could see preemptively without looking up constantly all these items and put them, and that way I could put them in the exact order I want, just because I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to almost everything. That being the case, if you've already tried to break chests in the vault to make it quicker, you'll notice that the wooden chests, I think, just drop everything. But if you break anything else like ornates, living, or coin piles, that it's extremely slow, and /or just breaks and drops one item at a time. That is just how they work in the vault. And it does suck in that sense, but I do like the ability it adds in terms of that, because you can use the functionality of tools to craft a chest breaker, essentially, or coin breaker, and that way it goes much faster. And now, onto one of my favorite things in this mod pack. It's right there behind me, right there on the left, is tool crafting. And now leading into that, like I said before, you can craft specific tools. You can actually craft some pretty cool looking tools in order to break chests or the coin piles. And that way, it's just a specified tool for that specific thing, so you don't have to constantly be using your iron or your Paxel if, like, let's say you're using that, right? You can make it all in one if you'd like, but I like to separate them into two different items just because of the capacity. I mean, you can see just with doing the Paxel stuff, I only have 4 capacity left. So I'm going to make a new one. I'm going to start with an iron sickle just because I want to end up making another cool item, another cool tool that I don't think you have possibly seen yet if you're new. If you've seen Escal85's videos, you'll definitely have seen the item, but I really do like that item. But if you search up chromatic iron, you'll get a glimpse of all the tools that you can practically craft with this system. Even though you'll see right here that all we can craft is jewels, and then 5 other random tools being an iron pick, an axe, a shovel, a hammer, and a sickle. And you saw I just crafted a sickle, but you see all these random other tools and you're like, how the heck do I get those? Well, you get them through jewels. So you start off with the main one that it has. So let's say we want to make this chromatic iron cleaver. You would start with reaping, which is this chromatic iron sickle. It adds reaping, and you can see that it's already there with the one I crafted. And then you would add axing and shoveling to it. And you find those on jewels in the vaults, which make it so much easier. And they'll look like these random ones. And you'll be able to actually see that I have some preemptively put on there of the best ones that I can. In that jewel applicator, I'll be placing my tool with the jewels that I prepared off camera. And you can see I actually already have 23 capacity left on this tool, which does not give me a lot of leeway with the things I want to do. But because of this, I do want to add one more thing, and I want to see if I can find it. See if I have something with 23 or less capacity of axing. There's one right there. See if I can find anything else when it comes to axing or the regards of axing. Okay, so sadly, I can't. This is going to be the only one I have, which adds 20. So that means I can't add anything else to it. So we're just going to have to deal with what it is. And bam, we get a chromatic iron machete. At least that's with the Mexican accent or Spanish accent. But a machete. It's freaking cool. I love this thing. Sadly, we only get one repair. But honestly, for the first one, I'm not going to complain. We can make things much better later on, especially once we find quite a bit more jewels. This being the case, these are all the lowest ones that I have. You do get some in the beginning to craft one earlier on if you'd like to, but I didn't feel like I was set up properly for that, so we're just going to deal with what we got. And I know some professionals are going to be like, hey, you still have 3 capacity. You done built your machete wrong. And I'm going to be like, well, it doesn't matter. I'm making it how I want it. And I just want a chest/coin breaking tool. Although, I wish they did add a way to name your tool right here so you don't have to go straight to an anvil to rename the tool. And bam, now we have a chromatic iron machete. Now, it's not a weapon, even though it sounds like it is. You can probably use it as one. I mean, for crying out loud. Well, actually, it doesn't even tell me the amount of damage it does, but it definitely does damage. But look at that. I have a machete now. I can hack and slash through the vault. If anything stops me, I can break it. This being, I'm only going to do it with looting, looting chests and breaking coins, because that's what this tool is meant for. At least that's how I specifically made it. Hey, John, you like it? You like the machete that I got? Yeah, I think it's pretty cool too. I'm ready to run some vaults. Sadly, I can't do it today. Too many things on my plate. Can't do it right now, so we're gonna have to do it later. But I'm glad you like it. What about you, Jeffrey? Yeah, you're just piggyback on what John said. No, I get it. It's fine. And you, Jeffrey or George? Sorry, George. My bad. I know. I'm sorry. Okay. My bad. I didn't mean to call you Jeffrey. I know your name's George, right? Yeah. I know your name's George. Come on. Is this the look of a not confident dude? Do I strike you as an unconfident guy? I mean, come on. How serious can I not be with this knight's helmet? Let's be real. All right. Now, just to make sure you guys are safe. Can't be losing, you guys. Yeah, buddy. Vault Machete, el Looterer. I love that so much. I'm so excited to use this thing in the vault. At least when I get the chance to. And now with this setup combined, we're becoming a perfect vault hunter. Okay. There's some leeway in there. Obviously, I could be doing better, but essentially, this is going to make us a much faster looter. I mean, look at that thing. It's going to be ridiculous. I mean, how can I not be fast when I have an item called the Vault Machete El Looterer? Come on. It's specifically made for that. And let's be honest, even if I had the chance to run a vault right now, I'd get so much loot. It'd be ridiculous because I'm already going to be possibly running out of like space in my chest. I mean, look. I mean, I know there's like extra chests here and there, but like I need to set up something better pretty soon already. That means I need to unlock mods. I need to get better. I need to craft stuff. That means I need loot. So yeah, it's a lot. But in terms of unlocking stuff, I do need to do something. Okay. And there's something I need to confess as well. I don't like the fireball. I have tested it a lot. I have messed with it and tried to make it something that I could enjoy at this low level. But without ability power or gear that focuses it, I've got to deal with what I've got. And that being said, I don't feel like just upgrading the ability, so I gotta do some reskilling on this front. I've gotta undo some mistakes when it comes to that. And I'll teach you how to do it yourself, just in case you're not sure how. So I know you've seen me mess with these a little bit in terms of just placing them, looting them, and crafting them together possibly, but let me actually see how many points I have accumulated on that specific ability. And it looks like I've only done one, thank the Lord. But essentially, you craft regret nuggets into regret chunks with this 3x3 grid, and then almost the same way, but with Ruinzxyt in the middle, then you'll get the orb of regret. And if you eat that sucker, you can see on the top right that I get 1 unspent regret point just from that. And if I go to any one of my abilities and /or talents, I can actually select this one and unlearn it with that regret point. And so if I just click unlearn, it gets rid of that regret point, and now I no longer have fireball. Or let's say if I had upgraded something else multiple times, like let's say prudent, I would just get 1 downgrade level of that. So I'd be at level 2 instead of level 1. And of course, so on if you want to eat multiple regret orbs just so you can get rid of multiple levels or spend skill points somewhere else. But I actually want to go with Javelin. Javelin is something that I've tested and I've used countless times on other playthroughs as well as my multiplayer server. And let me tell you, it is so good. The damage is really good. Like, look at that. Knockback is pretty nice. The cooldown is really good. And the mana cost, honestly, is not too bad. Especially when, let me just unlock it, and then go to the javelin enhancements under talents, you can actually see the different things you can upgrade for that, like the throw power, which adds projectile speed to the javelins, or the damage, which just enhances the damage by a certain percentage, or conduction, which gives the javelin conducting power, making it able to transfer any on-hit effect except lucky hit to throw on-hit effects, which include something like clouds, any of the cloud effects, the stunning effect, and shocking effect. Or you can add this one, which gives you a chance to make your javelin ethereal, charging no mana for the throw. And honestly, to begin with, if I need to spam it, I'm gonna go with that right away. I might max this one out to begin with and then start tossing stuff into the other abilities, just so that I can do a decent amount of damage and spam it if I need to, kind of like if I get into any sticky situations. It's going to be such a benefit on that front. And I already have a key set up for this. That's not it. Immediately clicks the wrong one. But look at that. That looks so cool. I click T for mine. That's what I've key bound it to. And I place it right there. Let me see if I could actually get an ethereal one to pop up. The 15% chance, so it might not show up. There we go. That was not too bad, but it'll turn blue and it'll be see-through the whole time. That's going to be an ethereal one compared to this not as see-through one, but it slowly goes away and fades away, and that's what just essentially happens. But that ethereal one is essentially ethereal. It's a ghost. So that's pretty cool. Right now, I'm just going to stick with this javelin. If I want to go into the specialization, I might do that later. But for now, we're just going to enjoy this ability. It's so cool shooting javelins, and they look awesome. Like, they look so cool. And like, let's compare it to the fireball, right? The fireball has too high of a cooldown, unless I go with the fire shot, which I think was much faster when it comes to the cooldown, but it does significantly less damage. This one does a decent chunk of damage per mob, 100%, and it has a much faster cooldown rate. That being the case, I will probably be using a lot of my mana, but honestly, in the beginning, that's probably all I'm going to be using the mana for, which isn't bad. Other than, of course, my dashing ability, which hopefully I can still manage my mana pretty well. But I do love it because of the range. Whoa. And I missed my first shot on the pig. Look at that. Insta unaliving on that pig. Oh, I was trying to get it. Look at that. That's so cool. Look at that ability. Oh, I missed. Let's see how far I could get this. Oh. Oh. But look at that. That's so cool. And imagine that with the regular mobs in the vault. Like, yeah, I can't panic hit it, but it's pretty cool. I love it. And I'm excited to use it. And man, oh man, I love this ability. Ah, spam it. Spam it. I love that ability. It's so cool. It's so fun to use. Hopefully a lot of this gibberish talk makes sense to you. I spent a bit of time trying to make sure that it was clear and concise, and I hope you guys were able to understand it. Feel free to ask questions in the comments if you maybe are confused about something or want to know a little bit more about something else in the game, and I can make sure I can explain it in a way that is very understanding, as well as showing you some examples of how to use and/slash or do whatever those questions are asking. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I am so sorry I couldn't run a vault today. It is quite time consuming, and I definitely don't have that much. I recently moved to an apartment with the wifey, and it is going well. We just finished moving or maybe not moving, but setting up the last couple of things that were in boxes. I love it, and I'm excited to start making so many more videos. Am I a little too close? My bad. I'll give you some space. But I am loving it and excited to see what the future holds for the wife and I. And I hope you guys are along for the ride when it comes to maybe the YouTube path that I'm choosing to go down. And if you enjoyed, make sure you click that subscribe button. Maybe even click that like button, With all that being said, I really do appreciate every viewer that has stuck it out to the end and for even clicking on the video in the first place. I really, really do flipping appreciate it. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will. Oh, I don't have it. So much for that outro. But I will catch you guys on the flip side. Deuces. And I'll catch you guys. Oh, on the flip side. God dang it. I was trying to do a cool outro. Well, goodbye.